Everybody, welcome back to Wicked Good Sports. This is Power Play, and we're joined as always by Chris Uminski. Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Brian. How are you?
Doing well, doing better than the Canucks, I feel, currently. How about we get into that? What's happening there? Everyone's fired?
So, so we're at the quarter point of the season,
Mm-hmm.
and this is usually the point where teams start to figure out what their identities are,
Mm-hmm.
and if there's problems, now is the time to take care of them. Because if you wait until like the halfway point or the three-quarter mark, it
Mm-hmm.
might be too late at that point to make
Right.
any substantive changes. And the result of that has been a wave of firings around the NHL in the last week.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, Starting with Montreal fired their GM and their assistant GM, Mark Bergevin and Trevor Timmons.
Mm-hmm.
Montreal is 6-18-3,
Not
which
great.
is not great, especially coming off a year where they were just in the Stanley Cup final.
Mm-hmm.
So big changes are happening there. What makes this interesting is that Montreal won't hire somebody unless they can speak both English and French.
That's tough. That's a hard sell for a job.
Yeah, and it definitely limits the applicant pool also.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna have to find probably somebody who's from Quebec,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a limited number of them.
Right.
And then the next team is the Philadelphia Flyers. They are right now they are 8-11-4.
Mm-hmm.
Also not great.
Also, yeah, also not great.
So they fired their head coach, Alan Vigneault,
Mm-hmm.
and replaced him with Mike Yeo. And they fired the assistant coach, Michel Therrien, who is one of the names being rumored for the Montreal GM job
Mm-hmm.
as well. So coaching changes happening in Philly. And then, of course, like you mentioned before, the Vancouver Canucks.
Mm-hmm.
Vancouver is one of the worst teams in the league this year.
Yeah.
They've been on sort of a downward spiral, but right now they are 9-15-2.
Mm-hmm.
And they just decided after last week they had a pretty bad loss to the Penguins, and so then they're just like, you know what, we're cleaning house.
It's over, everybody. Get the fuck out.
So they fired Travis Green, who was the head coach, and replaced him with former Minnesota Wild coach Bruce Boudreau.
Mm-hmm.
Who I think that's a pretty good hire for
Okay.
them. He's an experienced coach. He has playoff experience. No cups, but I don't know if that's a great metric to how good a coach is. That more speaks to a whole team.
Right.
They also fired the assistant GM John Weisbrod, the assistant coach Nolan Baumgartner,
Mm-hmm.
and they replaced him with Scott Walker, who's been around. He's been around the league, and he played too for a while. And now at this, I love this. This is hilarious to me. So at the Penguins game where the Canucks lost, they were playing at home. The crowd was actually chanting "Fire Benning, Fire Benning." Jim Benning being the GM.
Mm-hmm.
Canucks lose that game. Next day, Benning is fired.
Hey, that's listening to your fans. That's what people like to see.
Oh yeah, I love that because you never really think about like how much influence do the fans really have on these business and hockey decisions. Like what are we
Yeah.
gonna listen to? What are we gonna listen to? A bunch of couch coaches and
Ask Bears fans. They've been chanting to fire Matt Nagy, even at his son's football games, which is kind of fucked up. But they're not being listened to.
I'm like a semi Bears fan too. They're my
Mhm.
NFC team, and I'm
Right.
definitely on the Fire Nagy bandwagon there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they fired
Um,
Jim Benning. They replaced him with Stan Smill,
Mhm.
and it's actually we're recording this on Wednesday. The Bruins are actually playing the Vancouver Canucks tonight. That'll be the second game that
interesting.
Vancouver has played.
How'd they look in the first game with this all new stuff?
They beat the Kings 4-0.
Hey, clean slate. maybe that's what they needed. It is funny how sometimes everyone will get fired and then the team will be like, "Oh, thank God that guy's gone," and start
That's
playing
what
better.
that's what happened to the Bruins a few years ago.
Hmm.
We were just doing we were doing really shitty a few years ago.
Hmm.
Um, they fired Claude Julien in the middle of the season, replaced him with Bruce Cassidy, and we
Haven't looked back.
haven't looked back. We've made the playoffs every year since,
Hmm.
with a
Yeah,
cup
and a cup appearance.
Yeah,
So pretty good. A pretty good decision there. So would you say, like, you're saying that this is kind of the time to make moves more often than not? Are these moves successful, or is it usually like, okay, they're bad, may as well just rip the Band-Aid off now and then deal with it in the off season?
I feel like it depends on the team.
Mm-hmm.
With Montreal, I don't see it making very much of a difference right now. They look like crap. Most of their good players are injured.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't have Shea Weber. Um, Philadelphia has been pretty disappointing all year, but I think redoing the coaching staff might help because they're a well put together and talented team.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's a chance that they could recover. They're also not in as deep of a hole as Montreal is.
Right.
Um, Vancouver, and then obviously like in Vancouver, we're already seeing the difference that it's making. And just
Right.
like the one game that we have.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, yeah, are there any other teams that you're surprised haven't made any moves yet? Any teams that could potentially we see some firings from?
Definitely the Coyotes, but that's not super surprising.
They got lots of issues.
Yeah, they're going through a time right now.
Mm-hmm. But hey, I saw you tweeted. I think it was Phil Kessel, right? Former Bruin, said that I don't care where we go as long as their hot dogs are good or something to that effect. And I was like, damn, I still love this guy.
Yeah, Phil Kessel's great.
Yeah. So he also has that meme. I don't know if you've probably seen it. Him holding up like a puck for some record that he made, but someone like took the picture of him and changed it into a dip container and like said it was like some trucker getting something. Yeah. And I was like, damn, he does look like a trucker. I'm sure that's what he'd be doing if he weren't a hockey player, because he has to look for it.
You also don't need teeth to be a truck driver.
Hey, very true. Oh man! All right, so we'll keep an eye on Phoenix. One, to see if they fire their coach. Two, to see if they move, as we've been talking about.
There's been a lot of rumors floating around with that too. I saw something in Forbes actually last week, but where it was like there is an ownership group in Houston ready to buy the team.
All right, hey.
But then like the Coyotes came out after this. Like Forbes is a good source for anything. The Coyotes came out afterwards and they're like, no, we're not moving. We want to stay right here.
Okay, we'll see. I think it might be a negotiation tactic more than anything. But hey, we'll see. All right, anything else you want to add for this one before we get on out of here?
Nope, that'll do me for this one.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time, Chris. Tell them where they can find you online.
So the best spot on hockey Twitter is Chris_Uminski. All the best news, all the best memes.
Mm-hmm. As I said, I saw the Phil Kessel quote from your Twitter, so yeah, it's all happening there, folks. Go follow
Indeed.
All right, you can follow me on Twitter at @theFakeBMar. That's BMARR. The channel is on Twitter at WickedGoodSport or WEverything. Instagram at WickedGoodEverything. Twitch at twitch.tv/WickedEverything. And on TikTok, search WickedGoodEverything or search WickedGoodSports. I actually just put a TikTok up yesterday, 2 days ago. I don't know, Chris. It's Wednesday. Everything happens so much. I don't know. But it's recent. It did okay. So, yeah, follow us there for more. I got to start clipping, like, stuff from our interviews and whatnot.
Actually, I watched something that you posted recently. You had some words about Justin Herbert. And I want you to be nice to him.
It's not Justin Herbert. It's the annoying Chargers fans on Twitter. Always being like, Herbert's the best, Tua sucks. It's like, all right, we don't need this. Like, I'm not.
Herbert is the best, but we're not gonna.
I can't disagree. He's great. He's a great quarterback. Just some of his defenders and lovers on Twitter are quite annoying. But anyways, Again, thank you so much for your time, Chris, and we'll see you all in the next one.
All right.